A podcast on a Saturday?
Merry couple days after Christmas.
Oh.
So we're doing Worst of Riot 2019. So we're going through our year from the show, and how that works out is you get an extra day, so an extra podcast.
So stuff in today's podcast. Nikki doesn't want to be one of those Steam users.
We're finishing up February.
Yeah, that's February.
Of 2019, and I remember that moment.
I do too.
Every so often a Steam user will remind me of it.
We find a shark in formaldehyde. We have a discussion about weird foods that you ate as a kid that you thought were normal, but they weren't.
But we're odd.
Obadiah watches Casablanca, which started for me a whole tear of old films.
You're right. Boy, I guess that was then, wasn't it?
It was. That was February 25th.
Part of me feels like some of this stuff was more recent, but it's been a while.
Yeah. Something about Christmas music and choking. Ways to skip work. Brocheting. The Alien High School play that happened earlier this year. The Candy Threshold. The Cat Threshold. And the Warrior Cats.
It's good. The book series.
Remember the Warrior Cats?
We never did read them. It was a lot of talk. We weren't going to read them.
Remember the coffee maker problem?
Oh, is that the first time someone washed out the coffee pot?
And then Chris comes in and tells us there's no problem.
But it was bad. There was a problem.
Yeah. So that's all in today's podcast. That carries us up through the middle of April.
Okay. Bye.
So
I felt like we still need to say goodbye.
A little bit more. So you guys enjoy this podcast. We'll be back on Monday with more Worst of the Riot 2019.
Have a good weekend.
Bye.
Just think, you spent an entire year listening to this. Here's to 2020. This is the Riot's Worst of 2019.
Nikki, I want you to hold still. I want to hit you in the head with something.
Oh, yeah, please do.
Actually, face the wall, because I think I need to hit you in the back of the head.
Okay, great.
And that way, if this doesn't work...
I'll just fall into the wall.
Yeah, it won't be as big of a deal. I'm looking at the story of a man here by the name of Derek Amato. Derek has acquired savant syndrome. I want acquired savant syndrome. Now, I don't want the massive head injury that he had to have to get it, but he was in he fell off of something? He dove into the shallow end and hit the bottom of a pool.
Ooh.
And he ended up hurting himself, and he's recovered now. And one day he was just at a friend's house who had a piano, and he was like, hey, piano. And then he was like, Beethoven!
He could just play it?
Incredibly well.
Really? Oh, wow.
Acquired savant syndrome. So what's funny is he cannot understand, he can't read music.
Yeah, but he can just play it.
He can basically play anything.
So if he hears it too, he can play it back. I wish I've always could have had that with languages. You hear how someone, and you wouldn't want this, but they say they've been in a coma and they wake up and they suddenly speak another language. It's how did it get in there?
See, you know what my thought is? I mean, don't you think we probably all have that? We just can't access it. There's something that
probably
something in our brain that just doesn't work.
It's it knows it all. It knows more than we think we do. We just can't unlock it.
Have you ever seen, what was that movie with Bradley Cooper in it?
The
where
pill
it was
one?
Yes.
Yeah, the Limitless or...
Limitless, that was it.
Because it had a TV show
it
too.
Did.
Yeah.
You're right. It was... I didn't see the whole movie. I only saw the first half of it or something, but there was a great moment where he's somewhere and he's going to get in a fight and he's like, I don't know how to fight. And then he goes, wait a minute, don't I? And then as he's fighting these guys, he's just remembering all of the fights he's seen, basically all the movies he's seen his entire life. And he's like, wait, I know how to do this. I want to be like that.
I know, but we don't want to go through all the other stuff.
I don't want to go through it necessarily. Now, I'll go through head trauma if you can guarantee me that I'm going to come out with something really good.
Something really special at the end? I don't know. Then it's also hard, too, because, you have someone on one side who's, studied languages for years and years and years. And then you got this other person who's like, nope, I just know it. Or, I can just play the piano beautifully.
Yeah,
and then someone else over here just can't get it.
So much better than you can.
Yeah, and you've trained your whole life. You've been trying since your mom made you.
Man, I want to be instantly awesome at something with no work whatsoever.
That's really deep down what we're looking for.
That's what I want.
And you see someone who got that.
I know. I don't want to put in the time or the effort or anything like that. I just want to be good at it. And I want to find a way to monetize it so I can live the easy life, working very little.
There's the second part of it.
And indulging my every whim.
Okay. So that's your laundry list of what you would like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can't say I don't know what I want. He's
driven.
Some people wander through life just not knowing what they're looking for.
And
I am looking for that. Instant fame, very little work, lots of money.
They even make morning people want to reach for the snooze button. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
The ugly word is discrimination. Now, a lot of people talk about racism, which is also obviously very bad, but like racism is a form of discrimination, but not all discrimination is a form of racism. So, really discrimination is about some arbitrary decision that you make that says like, hey, I am going to not be a part of that group, or I'm going to lash out at that group of people because they have shorter pinkies than I do, or they have a certain color hair, or they went to a certain school, or even something like they have a certain kind of software installed on their computer. And I would never do that. I would never, ever do that. And even if my whole life I really, really wanted to learn Japanese, and I have a friend of mine that has made a way for me to learn Japanese at a discount price.
You're kidding.
But I'm not going to be I'm not going to be like those people.
Did he tell you that?
People that install software like that.
No.
I'm not going to be a Steam user. I'm not going to put Steam on my computer like you people.
It's not exactly. It's kind of close how I said it, but not totally. Eric found me a game that teaches you Japanese, and it was on sale for 99 cents yesterday.
Hiragana Battle.
I said, hey, can you get it for me? And it's not for my phone, which I would prefer, but it's for my Mac, and that's fine. And then he comes up and he tells me, he's like, well, you're going to have to install Steam. And I didn't want to have to install Steam. I didn't want to. I was fine hearing you guys talk about Steam all the time, but I didn't want to become a Steam user. And now in order to play this thing, I would need to become a Steam user. I'd be in the group.
Yeah.
So
do you see what that is? Where you first off,
not discrimination. I just didn't want to.
No, it is because you said I don't want to be in the group.
I don't want to be in that group of people who have downloaded and using Steam. I don't want to use Steam.
Why not?
Because I didn't want to have something else I need to use. I just wanted to use the game. I didn't want to have Steam to play the game.
That's not what it is, Nikki. Go ahead. Tell them the truth. You think that you're better than people that use Steam. Yeah, you do. You're
not at all. I just don't want to have it. I just don't want to.
That's not it.
Because every time you talk about Steam, I like to hear about the sales and everything.
You don't, but
I just don't want to be in it.
You don't want. You're better somewhere. Here's what I know right now. After I got this email from Eric, it became very clear to me.
Did he email you?
Did he? I don't know. Did I say that out loud?
You just said that out loud.
Okay. I realized that you think you're better than me because I use Steam and you don't.
No.
And you want to be on the outside and you want to be able to say, like, I don't do that.
Nope. That's not it.
That
I just didn't want to have to do that.
It's been
out.
laid bare. It has been laid bare for all to see.
No, I don't want to have to sign up for Steam. I don't want to have a Steam account. I don't want something else. I just wanted to play the game. That was it. I don't want to have it.
That's not. Here's how I know that's not true. Because if all of a sudden I was like, Nikki, I have found this service that is day and date with all of the most popular K-dramas, you would be like, bing, signing up right now.
Yes, but then I could just do that through sites that I've already set up.
Nikki, you're discriminating against Eric and I. You are. You said that Eric and I are a part of a group.
You are.
A group that you don't want to be a part of. And so that's it. It's fine.
That's right. Thanks to all the people texting, guys.
Angela says, it's okay, Nikki. Let it all out. You just don't like Steam users.
It's not. I just didn't want to have to become a Steam user in order to do this game.
Zach says, Obi, you're totally right. When she said she doesn't want to be in that group, that's like the definition of discrimination.
Discrimination, is it?
Group identity isolation.
Fine.
Yeah. Jason says, wow, anti-Steam mentality in 2019. For shame.
Thank you for texting Jason.
Kyle says Nikki needs a reason to fight.
No, I just didn't want to. I wanted to just go ahead and I wanted it to be an app on my phone. That's what I wanted the most. I didn't want to have to download Steam. Now I have to have a Steam account in order to play this one thing.
All right. Well, you know what? Let's just go ahead, everybody. Let's all of us Steam users together say, Nikki.
How many other Steam users are there?
So
or are these people the ones texting even Steam users? Because I think they have no room to talk if they're not.
Oh, okay. So now Nikki's one of those people that, like, when you're discriminating. Wait, you know what? When you're discriminated against, Nikki's one of those people that doesn't believe you.
It's not. I'm just saying. Are they even Steam users themselves?
Nikki, man, like, I got to tell you what. Your discriminatory behavior.
Is it shameful?
It's like, I just feel like every time we peel away a layer of the onion, the stench just continues.
No,
like,
I just want to know if there's so many of us now.
We've gone
How
from.
How many of us are Steam users?
I don't discriminate against those people. And now when somebody tells their story of discrimination, Nikki all of a sudden has all these questions and doesn't believe them.
I'm just curious who all is in the group then.
Trey.
Kyle's not. Kyle texted back. He's not.
Trey says, these people she says.
I have to be one of them then.
Jake says, one of us.
One of us. So he's Steams.
DJ says, Nikki, there's dozens of us.
Dozens. It's a big group.
See, I'm allergic to discrimination. I'm just so upset.
I don't mean to if you take it that way. I just didn't want to have to become a Steam user.
Oh, just see how she put it back on me? If you take it that way.
This is your thing.
See?
Do you see? That way.
That's how those people act. They're so sensitive.
The Riot is to your ears what all those energy drinks are to your liver.
For the love of God, please stop. I can only process so much.
The Riot, RadioU.
Anybody go to a party this weekend? Hands? Anybody?
A late Valentine's Day party, maybe, or an early President's Day one?
Come on, dude. That's like the apex of parties right there. You get like Valentine's Day, President's Day, and man, when they meet up on the weekend, look out.
If someone managed to put on an amazing party for both those days, then you are quite the party planner.
Man, actually, you know what? I'll tell you about another party that was a big deal in a few minutes, Nikki. But this one here, this is a smaller party that took place in Olympia, Washington. It was on Saturday night. It sounds like a real winner.
It does.
Okay? It sounds like a real winner.
Why am I not thinking that?
There was a 20-year-old woman and her 1-year-old daughter that were at the party at about 11 p.m. on Saturday night when they were both shot accidentally. So what ended up happening is another guy who was at the party, he was taking his pants off to show.
Just stop.
What?
And he had a gun in his pants.
Yeah.
And it accidentally went off.
Yeah.
And then shot the mom and the 1-year-old.
Yeah. But don't you act like this man is some sort of an irresponsible gun carrier. Because one,
he wasn't even carrying it.
He had a concealed carry. 2, before taking off his pants, which, by the way, is a sentence that I wasn't expecting to say today. Before taking off his pants, he took his gun out and handed it to somebody. And then he pulled down his pants to show everyone his tattoo.
We'll put that to the side, and that's its own thing.
And we don't know exactly what happened, but we do know that when he was showing off his tattoo, that somewhere in the middle of all of that, the gun went off.
So accidentally from him, or was someone else handling it? Or was it maybe when he was putting his pants back up?
The third man, who was not supposed to be messing with the gun, he was just supposed to be holding it. He took it out of the holster to show it off.
Well, yeah, there's a problem.
A single round was fired. And then
So let's lay the blame on that guy then. It wasn't the pants person, I don't feel like.
Well, I mean, because he's the gun owner, he's going to be pulled into this conversation.
Well, but it seems like it was the other person who did the worst part.
Yeah, so let me see here, though. Which one of these guys... Okay, so the guy who fired the gun is the one who was under arrest for reckless endangerment, not the one who owned the gun. So
not the pants person?
He was just standing there with his pants down, but he's not in trouble because that's not illegal.
And everybody else is okay despite being shot? They're fine?
Okay, get a load of this. Gun is fired, hits the baby in the leg, goes through the baby's leg into the woman's pelvis.
Oh, gosh.
They both had to have emergency surgery, but they are okay.
Oh, man.
And you know how the story ends, right? You know how it ends. Deputies on site, there was ecstasy, alcohol, and marijuana at the party.
There it is. You're like, I don't know why we don't have. What's the problem? It's like, well, here's another example of the problem.
I'm just going to tell you right now, the best parties are where there's a baby and a gun. If you're going to a party,
why is there a baby and all these drugs at the party? What's going on?
If you're going to a party,
see a big problem,
and there's just a gun, that's not that fun.
No.
And there's just a baby, not that fun. But if you got a baby and a gun, man. Take a look at my tattoo, right?
What are they doing? I think that's the bigger picture we maybe won't talk about anymore, but we all recognize that might not have been the best situation.
I feel like when you add it all up,
it makes sense.
It's an equation. Like the other side of the equation is I'm not surprised something bad happened.
I'm surprised only they got shot and not more.
Our New Year's resolutions include eating less sugar, spending less time on the internet, and trying to pay less attention to the riot. Oh, who are we kidding? None of these go hand in hand. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
If you guys haven't, you really need to get up in the middle of the night and go to Walmart. Like, you need to do that.
Is there something special at that time?
Well, this morning, I ended up coming in pretty early today, and as a result, I stopped at Walmart. Nikki, I was looking for your Nello wafer cookie cereal.
Oh, did you not find it? That's why I looked yesterday.
I went to 2 stores yesterday, and then this Walmart this morning. They have every conceivable kind of cereal
except
the one that I'm looking for.
That's all right.
And I went to 3 different kinds of stores.
Sure.
And so this morning, I'm on my way to Walmart, and so I pull into the Walmart parking lot, which is almost completely empty, and I keep, and maybe it's me, but, we need people that find the mundane to be frightening because that's where horror movies come from. But I just pulled into the parking lot, and then the door opened.
Yeah.
And like 15 people just walked out of the Walmart and like dispersed into the parking lot.
Where's the car?
And I was like,
where are they going?
What?
Was there a bus or something? Or
No. That's the part that's weird. Is like they all just walked out of the doors, and they weren't just walking like in a line like a group. They like dispersed among the parking lot.
It must have been like a shift change.
It legitimately creeped me out. I was just like, what? And I was there at like just the perfect time. Like I'm pulling in and I start to open my door, and then they all start walking out.
They needed to make room to welcome you.
And they start scattering around the parking lot. You're like, what's going on?
But they weren't wearing uniforms, right?
No.
Like, do you change when you're done?
Like, am I asleep? Is this happening? This is a dream, right?
You're seeing one person, but it gets magnified.
Like, I'm just here for the cereal. I'm not here to cause any trouble.
Hey, you know how they have like the welcoming person? Do they still do that?
Yeah, I guess.
Now there's a welcoming crew.
Committee.
Come on in.
Walmart.
There's room for you now.
Welcome to Walmart.
You're like, is something going on inside?
Turns out that apparently at some point in the night, they have a little cart gathering party. So they all go out into the parking lot and gather up the carts and bring them in.
So as workers?
Yeah. I mean, they're all people that work there. And so I just rolled down my window. I hadn't gotten down there yet. I was like, hey, are you guys open? Yeah, come on in.
All the time.
We want to eat your brain.
Suddenly you're like, you never leave the Walmart.
I'm just stuck there.
You're always there.
One of us.
Oh, well, I'm glad you made it out and you were fine.
One of us. Seriously, you should go to Walmart in the morning. It's something.
The person there is like, I'm just collecting the cards. What's wrong?
No.
Like, no, there was something more than that.
Something far more frightening going on in the parking lot. Or just card gathering, whatever.
One day, a heroic time traveler will go back in time to make sure none of this ever happens. Until then, it's the worst of the riot on Radio U.
Right now at facebook.com/RadioU Riot, I'm going to post for you something that is just amazing. It's the kind of stuff that is probably out there somewhere, but you just never knew about it until the internet happened.
Until Obi showed you the way.
Nikki, did you look at the link I sent you last night about the shark?
Yeah, it's weird. And then I actually went and watched a couple of the videos that they were referencing in it. It's very strange.
So there is right now in Australia, which, by the way, is just an entire island of things that can kill you. There is this abandoned wildlife park that is like an hour and a half from Melbourne. And inside this place, and it's one of those weird urban explorer places, like it's just these buildings out in the middle of nowhere.
It used to be, where you go and like, walk through and see the wombats, or you go through and you see this and that. And they said in the article that there used to be basically like a freeway exit that would go there.
Yeah.
So it was popular at one time. Then they moved the freeway exit. So there was no direct access. So the place just went downhill and no one visited anymore.
Man, there's a place near me that has a Speedway and a Bob Evans, and this is where they're headed.
They're going to move the road.
You used to be able to turn right off of it, and they moved the exit, and I'm just like, man, these places are done.
Eventually, it dies off, which is what happened with this thing.
So there's a great white shark that's preserved in a large formaldehyde tank. And so the guy that wrote this article for Vice is like, oh, yeah, I heard I was sitting in this bar drinking beer, and this guy says to me, hey, did you ever hear the one about the shark? And they start...
It's just an hour away.
And so they start looking into it. So him and some friends, like, just go find the shark.
You can go and literally, even though now it's harder, I think, to get in because police are patrolling it.
Yeah, I saw that.
It became an internet sensation there.
Police are getting all, please stop coming to see the shark.
Well, do you know why what they're doing?
What?
It's in a formaldehyde tank, but the top of the tank is taken off.
Yeah.
So they're throwing things in this giant tank where this preserved shark is. So like there's an old TV in there, an ironing board and chairs and stuff. So they're damaging the shark.
Not to be a punk, but like I'll have to say, like, that's the appeal I don't get. Like, the shark... Okay, I just got it. I'm
Here,
sorry.
shark, have a seat.
All this stuff that people are drunk when they go out there, and they're like, the shark wants to watch TV.
So they throw a TV in there.
It didn't make sense until I started saying it out loud, and now I totally get it.
But
it makes perfect sense. I got it.
The danger is the formaldehyde is very dangerous. It can make you very sick, and they're breathing in the fumes.
The guy who went out there to take these photos, he actually bought himself a rebreather mask or whatever so he could be, quote unquote, safe in there with the dead shark. I don't think I can handle these kind of nightmares.
It's weird when you look at it.
The photos alone are just like, oh, gosh.
It's very odd because the one person I watched the video for, they didn't really, I don't think, know that there was a shark in there.
Yeah.
And so they just come in, they're like, what's the giant tank for? Like, it's a giant tank.
Okay.
And what's the green? The formaldehyde is so old and like formaldehyde-y that you can barely see the shark. You can see it once you know it's there, but it takes a little bit.
Horror movie, guys. Okay.
What if it just went boom and it woke up?
Okay, think about this. Like, you're out there, you're doing some urban exploring, you find a big tank full of this green liquid in this abandoned building. Come on.
Right.
And then there's a shark in there, but it's a zombie shark.
So it's in there because it had been donated and preserved, and then it was supposed to go somewhere else. And then this park went out of business, and now it's kind of like in limbo, and no one really wants to do anything with it. So it's just there.
Yeah.
But it is a danger because someone could get hurt. It's not from it's not alive, but the formaldehyde in it.
Right. And, oh, man. The temptation to reach in and touch the shark would be real.
I'm surprised someone hasn't done that.
I'm surprised somebody hasn't died in the tank with it.
Yeah, like what happens if you touch that stuff?
Wow. Okay, Jared says that could totally be the intro to that old cartoon Street Sharks.
What was Street Sharks?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm absolutely on YouTube, and I'm going to find out soon.
That's the next step, obviously.
If you guys want to see these photos, I posted them, facebook.com/RadioU Riot.
Things are never as bad as they seem, except when it comes to the riot. Then they're worse. they're always worse. It's the Riot on RadioU.
Nikki, let's talk about your bizarre food habits that you had when you were a kid.
Yeah.
And it may not just be yours. I love this. I found an article where they've basically been reposting some threads from Twitter of people talking about weird things that they ate when they were a kid. So here's a guy who says, when I was 8 years old, I used to carry a bottle of apple cider vinegar around wherever I went, taking a swig every now and then.
What age was he?
He was 8 years old.
Why did he learn that? Well, he learned that from his parents, but what are they doing with that?
Okay, Rob says bananas cut lengthwise and mayo sandwiches.
Yuck.
Bananas and mayo.
Gross.
Okay, sugar and dried onion sandwiches.
What is even that?
Salted lemon slices. That's I get that. My cousin used to make ketchup toast as a snack. It was ketchup on untoasted white bread.
Yeah,
Ew.
I've heard people do that before.
A ketchup sandwich like that?
A ketchup sandwich, yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Rebecca says, I used to carry around a pack of Swiss Miss cocoa mix and use it like chewing tobacco. What?
I love it. Wow.
I ate
Someone's like, oh, are you, what is that? Was that called dipping or whatever?
Yeah.
And be like,
Chaw.
no. It's like, no. I don't know if it's better. It's like, it's just hot cocoa.
How about this
one?
Is
that okay?
I ate plain spaghetti in a sauce of Diet Coke.
Ooh.
Rachel says, my sister and I ate pool chips.
What's pool chips?
It's better than it could be. Okay. Tortilla
Is it like the blue chalk at a pool table?
tortilla chips we dipped in the swimming pool outside of our apartment.
Oh, parents must have been real happy on that one. That is not water you're supposed to be drinking.
Oh, gosh. This is really gross. I smeared peanut butter on slices of bologna and rolled them up.
What does that taste like?
Oh, peanut butter bologna, I guess.
Weird combination.
So do you have anything that you had where it was like, oh, this is a weird thing I used to eat when I was a kid?
I mean, I think that you'd probably have to ask parents first to see if they remember anything that you had. I don't remember anything on my own.
I used to put Doritos on my peanut butter sandwiches.
Well, I used to put them on sandwiches.
Okay.
But
So that doesn't seem as weird. Sam, who just texted 8772 RadioU, says,
in OKC?
I used to dip my carrots in ketchup.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you, anybody that dips anything in ketchup, I'm not going to raise an eyebrow.
Ryan, is this true? Ryan texted he used to eat spoonfuls of the baking soda in his parents' fridge. That was for deodorizing. Is that like from that one show where the person would eat the stuffing from the couch?
Yeah, you could
We're
probably...
not supposed to be doing that.
There are reality shows that would feature you.
I don't think... Does it take on the flavor of foods in the fridge?
I think that's...
Something?
Oh, I don't know. Taylor says chicken ramen noodles with Italian dressing and pickle chips. Or a glazed donut with melted cheese.
Oh, these are odd, guys. These are odd.
Randall says ketchup on mac and cheese.
That's normal.
I see people do that. That doesn't seem that weird to me, at least not right now.
Out of all the others that we've seen, that's not so odd.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what. Hit us up. If you've got a weird, this is what I used to do to my food thing, or if you're still doing it.
No judgment. We don't mean it to be that way. You can put ketchup on whatever you want nowadays.
Oh, that's funny. I was going to say lots of judgment. Get in and get judged.
Ooh.
Nope. Save it.
Whoa.
Come on, guys.
I'm not judging.
Not judging.
I'm not judging. What a great choice. Oh, yum.
8772 RadioU.
Don't look at it.
Text them in and we'll feel free to
It's fine.
congratulate you on your choices.
What great choices you make.
Just because we're approaching a new year doesn't mean that it's going to change. Actually, if anything, it means the opposite. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
We ask, and you guys texted in.
So happy birthday to Nikki, and thanks to Nikki's mom who stopped by and brought us birthday coffees.
Yay.
It's really nice of her. And then thanks to everybody else. Now, a lot of people are wishing Nikki happy birthday, but we are also in the middle of a discussion about foods that you ate when you were a kid.
The weird combination ones. There was an article about it, about some of the combos that wouldn't work now. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Lots of stuff where you're like, oh, just put ketchup on it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
fine.
that's not all bad. I've been there.
It's like, why not ketchup or peanut butter?
So Ray says, happy birthday, Nikki, and then peanut butter dill pickle sandwiches.
I've heard that combination before. Never tried it, but again, it seems like you're putting peanut butter or ketchup, and that makes it an odd combo.
Yeah. Okay, let's see. Chuck says, peanut butter on my waffles? That's not weird.
Why is that weird?
I had peanut butter on pancakes last night.
He does that like every weekend.
Yeah. So, like, who are you calling weird, dude?
Chuck, that is not strange.
Jeff says peanut butter, mayo, and lettuce.
All together?
That's wrong.
Oh, mayo's really weird.
Yeah, like mayo on anything's a bad idea.
I'm just not into it. But then you add lettuce. It's 3 very distinctly different things.
Yeah, Andrew, here's another one, like peanut butter and syrup on French toast. Again, feels
What's
perfect.
weird about that?
That feels perfectly normal to me. Judy says salt on pickles and happy birthday, Nikki.
Oh, thank you. Isn't salt pickles anyways?
I was going to say, aren't pickles just full of salt?
We're not eating right.
Hey, just as a side note,
know.
did you know there's like a ton of sodium in NyQuil?
In NyQuil?
Isn't that weird?
Is that what? Well, NyQuil will like the sleepy stuff or the sick stuff?
The sleepy stuff or the sick stuff, like the like straight up NyQuil, cold cough, whatever.
Maybe
they just
to
like
keep
put some salt in there.
Maybe it preserves it. I
don't know. It's weird.
Maybe it preserves you.
All right. Bess says ketchup and mustard with a spoon. That's disgusting. Maple syrup on mac and cheese, says Deb. Yep, disgusting. Let's see. When I was a kid, my cousins, where did it go? You know, sometimes this text program kills me. When I was a kid, my cousins and I, 5 in total, would get lined up and fed by their dad, my uncle, white rice with canned sardines and tomato sauce mixed with mayo.
What is that?
Oh, my God.
What is that?
Oh, my God.
Why would you get lined up?
That is abuse. You can have your dad put away now.
What's wrong with it? Seems like since they're getting lined up and fed almost like it was medicine. But what is that? White rice, canned sardines, and tomato sauce with mayo?
Was that like the thing where, like, the wives are gone so we can feed the kids whatever we want? Let's see what they'll eat?
It feels like, oh, this keeps the cold away.
This is from the old country.
Yes, exactly. Like, that's what you do if you don't want to get the flu. That's your flu shot.
Oh, gosh.
That is gross.
Peanut butter and fried egg sandwich. It's like bacon.
Peanut butter and eggs. We've heard the combination before.
I don't know that I have, but I guess, like, okay, if I've got toast and we have eggs, and then I put peanut butter on the toast and the eggs go in the middle,
you would have had it kind of anyways.
It goes, like, there are worse things.
How about peanut butter, sugar, and mayonnaise sandwiches?
What with the mayonnaise? What? Why are you doing that?
What's wrong?
It's wrong. Stop it. Chris, here's another. He says, my father-in-law ate peanut butter and bologna.
We've had a couple of those.
That's the second peanut butter and bologna we've heard. Mm-hmm. Let's see. Shauna says, happy birthday. Cooked chicken ramen on PB&J.
You know what I do like to eat? I just like to eat the ramen not cooked, and you just eat the hard noodles. But that's not odd.
That reminds me of something I used to do. My when I would be like homesick or something with my mom, it would be like chicken noodle soup, and then I would make a peanut butter sandwich and dip it in the chicken noodle soup. So it was basically like chicken bouillon on your peanut butter.
I can kind of walk the line. It's kind of that's something.
Oh, Kim says spoonfuls of country crock margarine.
Now,
Kim, I want you to know something.
No judgment. Remember, we don't judge.
I have a family member.
Yes,
they came and spent a week with us. I knew that they ate a lot of butter. So I bought, the extra large tubs of country crock. Do you know that before the week was over, they had eaten the entire tub?
Because they like to eat butter.
When I saw them, they put country crock in their mashed potatoes, and it looked like gravy. I've never seen anything like it.
Well, feel free to text if you still have a combo that you currently do or you did when you were younger. I know we have a few more that we'll go over in a couple of minutes.
You people.
Well,
we love to hear from you, and we're glad you're here.
All right, it's all fine.
Thanks for being honest with the Riot. Text or call 8772.
Stop putting mayo on everything.
Using advanced technology, we've digitized and transcoded Obadiah and Nikki into a purely digital format. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Welcome to your Tuesday.
Welcome to Nickys Birthday, where we talk about the grossest stuff that you ate when you were a kid.
Basically, there was an article, and it covered some odd things that this person who wrote it had heard about for when you were younger, and it seems like people still eat a lot of that odd stuff. I was going
to say, now we're just transitioning to weird foods.
Now we're just saying what we still eat that's weird, but a lot of it involves ketchup, peanut butter, or mayo mixed in with all this weird stuff.
David says, I have a coworker who orders tomatoes and gravy at Cracker Barrel.
All right. Tomatoes and gravy.
That's gross, dude. Matt says peanut butter and bacon. Okay. A lot of people peanut butter and Miracle Whip. Like,
what is that?
Peanut butter sandwich and chili. That's what Rochelle says. Now, is that like dipping in the chili, or are you just eating a peanut butter sandwich and eating chili?
I think dipping it in the chili, like you were mentioning, peanut butter and chicken noodle soup. So chili too. Soup.
I mean, chicken bouillon is good. Mark says peanut butter and pickle. That was not so bad. Oh, Alex says, happy birthday, Nikki. My girlfriend eats mayonnaise and cheese.
Cheese sandwiches. Well, wait, so it's just mayonnaise on like bread and cheese? Well, I think a lot of people do that. Don't like it, but I think a lot of people do that.
Aaron says, my stepdad and stepbrothers would put heaping piles of applesauce on spaghetti with the meat sauce.
Wonder what that... Oh, it makes it sweeter.
Oh, Jason, what are you doing?
No, wait, we're trying to be accepting and loving.
What are you doing? Ketchup on Rice Krispie treats?
Why is that? What does that do?
What are you doing?
Wait. Let's just accept it.
Okay.
Let's accept it. Thank you, Jason, for texting us.
Oh, Pete. Look, Pete says, I used to put ketchup on everything, like mac and cheese and baked potatoes. Guess who still puts ketchup on baked potatoes?
Baked potato, you're over there.
Oh, you put them on French fries?
Oh, yeah.
Why is that so different?
Why is it?
Who are you to tell me it's weird? Let's see. Josh, I know a kid that ate mustard and sugar.
Josh, someone else mentioned the same combination. Mustard and then also like a mayo one.
Oh, Laura. Oh, my gosh. Laura would drink pickle juice from the jar.
People do that. That's not odd.
I didn't say it was, but that's not okay. Let's see. Don from Nova Scotia. He's just saying happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Let's see. Beth.
How is Nova Scotia? I've always wanted to go there.
Oh, Beth. My ex-boyfriend, and you'll know why in a minute, would dip chocolate chip cookies in ranch dressing.
Ooh, that's a combination. That's a weird taste.
My mom's former boss would eat chili with a piece of Jell-O cake on top of it.
Now we're just adding things. Spin the wheel of food and just throw it on there. We're just adding to it.
I mean, like, I guess you guys are telling the truth.
It's fine.
It's just text messages. I don't know. Like, that one feels made up. You're probably not lying, but for the sake of my own sanity, I got to pretend it's not real.
It just seems all, though, made up.
That's how I got to get through the day.
Uncomfortable silences during that morning carpool? Not a problem. These two never shut up. It's the Riot on RadioU.
We need this to be a new segment, though, for real, as we talk about old movies that Obadiah has finally watched.
Finally got around to watching. But I feel like this is going to be a record setter. Like, it's going to set the bar that's so high that I don't think I could possibly...
Go back further?
Right. Over the weekend, I watched 77-year-old Casablanca.
Did you?
Casablanca? I don't remember how you're supposed to say it.
I've never seen it.
I haven't either.
How was it?
Fantastic.
Is it? Does it hold up like...
It holds up surprisingly well.
If it's so old, does that even hold up at all?
No, it does. I'll tell you what holds up is... Okay, I thought it was hilarious, especially Humphrey Bogart's character. It's about a guy that basically runs a bar in Spain, and people are trying to flee the Nazis through Spain.
Bar.
Yeah, and so everybody's trying to get an exit visa and get out of town or whatever, and so he owns this bar, and he is... I think hysterically cynical. Like, everything that people say to him, he has this incredibly cynical response to them, and that's right up my alley. So his responses to people, I was like,
spot on.
This guy.
They stand the test of time.
This guy right here, right? And it's full of really good characters, and I was genuinely surprised by just how much I liked it.
But is Casablanca, is it black and white?
It is.
Okay.
And
it's never been color corrected or...
Oh, you know what? I've spent a lot of time reading about it this weekend. In the 80s and early 90s, the big media mogul that used to own all the Ted Turner, that's where his name comes. He colorized Casablanca, put it on TV, and people hated it.
So now it's just not done.
No, so I mean, it's in black and white, and it... You know what?
What made you want to watch it?
I have been thinking about it. Then I had a friend of mine that asked me about it and was like, hey, have you seen blank? And I was like, no, I haven't. So I just decided this weekend, like, you know what? Why not? Like, Casablanca. It's in HD. It looked really good. I mean, it's weird because it's so old that it's not in widescreen. So it's like square, like an old TV. But I thought it was great.
Well, very good.
I really, really liked it.
Is this going to lead to more like really, really old movies? Or?
Maybe. It made me want to watch some more stuff with Humphrey Bogart in it. That's the only thing I've ever seen him in. So I was like, maybe I'll catch the Maltese Falcon or something like that. Like
movie night at Ovi's.
Well, hey, why not, right?
Why not?
Old stuff, never seen it. Like catching up on the history was interesting.
Did you watch anything newer? Or?
No.
No, that was it.
Here's another weird one. In the middle of it, I get a text message, and this will be good if you're a fan of RadioU's Throwback Channel. Josh from Showbread just randomly texted me Saturday night while I was watching that, and he and I started talking about movies that we haven't seen. That like everybody's seen, but we haven't seen. So he was making fun of me for Casablanca. He's never seen the third Matrix movie.
Really?
Yeah, which I figure
it's not as old as like the Casablanca thing, but
no, but like you watch two of them.
But why wouldn't you watch the last one?
I'm not saying the third one's any good.
Does he still do his movie podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been listening, though. I didn't tell him.
You don't have the heart to tell him.
Yeah.
Tell him not until he finishes up that trilogy.
He needs to watch that. So, I'll tell you what. If anybody wants to toss out, like, if you've got a movie that everybody's seen it, but, like, you haven't seen it, I'd love to hear what it is.
I think that feels like we should be in a Facebook group or something. Like, this feels like we need a community of people, and then each weekend, it's like your book club, but it's your movie club.
All right. So, like, Casablanca, get to work.
That was the first one.
There are some parts of 2019 that are better to be left in the past. This is one of those parts. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
Nikki, what's the deepest pool that you've ever been in?
The ocean. No, but you mean a pool?
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's fair.
A pool of water or like a swimming pool?
A man-made swimming pool.
Man-made swimming pool. I think the normal... like we did with swimming in high school, we had a diving pool. Yeah. So whatever that would have been.
12,
like it wasn't
12 feet maybe?
No, I think a little deeper. It wasn't
15?
a lap pool. It was
just for diving.
It was for diving, so that one was deeper.
Okay. I think a 15-foot pool is the deepest that I've ever actually been in. But right now in Poland, they are building Deep Spot. Deep Spot
where
will be...
all the cool swimmers are going. Are you going to the Deep Spot this weekend, Obi?
I actually think it sounds really awesome. This pool is 148 feet deep.
But is it for people that do the practice holding their breath, or what are they doing?
It's going to be a little bit of everything. First off, there's an underwater tunnel, so you can walk out into the pool. They have like an encased tunnel, and then they have like things that you can just swim through for funsies.
Wouldn't you have air with you, or
both?
Gotcha.
You'll be able to.
Because I would think it would be a liability.
You'll be able to take scuba gear, but then you'll also be able to free snorkel. What kind of limitations and rules will there be? I have no idea. I just know that they got a super stinking deep pool going there.
What is it called again?
It's called Deep Spot. I just sent you a link to it. Okay. The thing that's wild is it's 148 feet deep, but it's only going to hold the world record for deepest pool for 6 months.
Then there's something else coming?
Because they are getting ready to open a swim center somewhere in the UK, but that one will not be open to the public. That will be for deep sea training and...
like military stuff?
Robotics development, I think they said, or something like that.
Like submarines and things?
I guess. Sure.
Fun.
Submarines and stuff.
If you're into that, this could be fun then.
Man, I remember when I was a little kid, there was this diving pool. Yeah. I learned to swim at this place called Subaquatics. And they had this one pool that was really deep that was to teach people like scuba, whatever. And if you look down in the pool, they had a shark painted on the side of the pool.
It would freak you out at the bottom.
And I would be so scared to walk over to the side and look in. Now, keep in mind, the shark was painted there was, I think, approximately 6 inches long.
But it felt
bigger. And it was just a shadow of a shark. It didn't have anything else on it.
Well, it looks neat seeing like the renderings. And now I get what you were saying about a tunnel that you could actually walk through into the pool, but you're not in the water. You can just walk through a tunnel and see everybody else swimming.
You can watch them swim, or
neat.
You can go on out there and get wet.
Have a good time.
I would be into that. Like, I would do that. So you and I got to get to Poland, and soon.
Well, we have a little time left until they build it, and then we can work on getting there.
All right. Well, you know what? I got time.
If you're looking for all the funny moments you missed during the riot, we apologize. You won't find them here. There weren't any. This is the worst of the Riot podcast.
So are we in danger?
I don't know, Nikki. What do you think? First off, how do you feel about Christmas?
Love it.
Do you love it?
Love it.
How much
miss
do you
it.
love it?
Totally miss it.
Do you ever find yourself every once in a while when no one's looking, maybe sliding a Christmas song in here and there?
No, I don't do that, but I do find myself like dreaming of it. Not like a white Christmas. It's not where that line came from, but
seems like it is.
Just, for a moment you think, oh, what will it be like at that time of the year?
Yeah. When can we get back to that?
When will we get to close? And it's not even Christmas time, like Christmas Day.
Right.
But it's more like
it's the lead up.
Once Halloween's done, that's prime time right there.
That's it. That
is much, much great times.
Okay. Well, there is a man. Well, he's been arrested, and here's the thing. I'm going to use the word allegedly a lot, okay? In fact, can I just say allegedly now and then...
It's a blanket allegedly.
It's a blanket allegedly. So there's a guy driving a minivan. There's a guy sitting behind him. The guy sitting behind him is whose name we actually know. He's 25 years old. His name is Clayton. And the driver had to pull the minivan over at some point and jump out of the car. When the police showed up on the scene, the two men were over the guardrail and had obviously been an altercation of some point. You see, the driver had been listening to and singing Christmas music.
And it wasn't Christmas time.
And Clayton began choking him from behind to the point that he was afraid he was going to pass out, so he had to pull over.
Who's that mad about that? You got to worry. You have to be afraid.
I know, but now you see why I'm worried.
Well, you're the one who listens to Christmas music sometimes, just randomly upstairs, so you need to be more worried.
No, I don't think so. I feel like this is a joint problem because compared to like a lot of the staff around here, they're like, yeah, Christmas is good like a week before. And then you're done. And Nikki and I are like, yeah, it's November. Bust out the Christmas music.
Let's do it now.
And so I feel like you and I are right now in a prime position for Hudson to come up behind us while we're getting the Christmas channel ready or something.
Start to choke you.
And to begin choking us violently. Mm. And I feel like you and I have got some training to do.
I think that Hudson doesn't deal in that sort of method of sharing his disappointment in our choices.
If I showed you this photo,
does he look nice?
Meth would really...
Oh, is he on meth?
I don't know, but it wouldn't take much to convince me.
Allegedly. Remember you had a blanket allegedly.
I did,
and it
allegedly.
works even on that.
Allegedly.
Oh, we shouldn't be strangling anybody.
Wouldn't take much allegedly to... Yeah.
That's why you're afraid to just do anything. Just maybe he was a driver. Like, was he an Uber driver or something? Or a taxi driver or what?
It doesn't say
was
that.
Was he a Lyft?
I think they were just...
Were they friends? That's even worse.
I mean, I'll tell you what. They're probably not friends anymore. So here's a quote. The victim told the trooper he was singing Christmas songs, so the victim said Lucas tried to choke him to make him stop singing.
Oh, now we know the guy's Lucas. We know the guy.
Oh, that's his last name.
Okay.
So, well, no, we still don't know the name of the victim.
Of the victim, all right.
Just the criminal complaint was filed against Clayton Lucas for choking his friend for singing Christmas songs.
Listen, be safe, guys. Be safe.
Nikki, what's the best way to spread Christmas cheer?
To sing loudly for all to hear, but not if you're in a minivan.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported RadioU.
I don't always read Cracked, but that's quite a website, cracked.com. I'll tell you that the language can get a little colorful, but man, they have some of the best articles. Like this one.
Are they actual articles or is it like The Onion?
No. They are typically based in fact. Nikki, I want to send this to you. I'm trying to find you on my list here. But like, for example, they'll gather old news stories into lists. So here's 5 impressive scams people use to get out of work.
Yes.
And like...
Oh, so it looks like BuzzFeed.
You know, it's so much better.
Yeah, I know.
At least I think it is. But whatever. But since I like it so much, it's probably doomed to failure.
So basically a way to get out of work?
Yeah. And, since I've been wanting to play more Division 2 lately...
Oh, you could take some inspiration from this?
How about this one? Number 5. A guy published a fake obituary to sell his mom died excuse. He did this. He put his mom's obituary in the newspaper and then brought the newspaper in as an excuse for missing work.
Oh, gosh. That's horrible.
Amazing.
So, yeah, he did claim to his boss that she died, and that's why they brought that in.
So a teacher used a jury duty notice to get time off. That's not
that
too
one's
bad.
fine.
A guy trashed his own home to make it look like he was burglarized.
I guess.
This one
Depending
actually,
on how you're choosing to live your life at this moment, your home could look like that anyways.
I'll tell you this right now. This one is my favorite one. Now, this one was from a few years ago, but there's a lady named Ashley Barker. She was a teacher in Florida who she emailed her. The principal was like, hey, I have kidney stones. And then she had a cyst. And then she had a brain infection.
Oh, God.
And her body was shutting down. And then her dad was dying. And in the middle of all of this, one of her coworkers spotted her at Legoland.
So she just wasn't even sick at all. I think she missed 35 days total on all the lies.
That's great. That's a lot of division too, Nikki.
It's so much work, though. All this stuff lying is too much work.
It really is. The thing about lying is it's not... Lying one time is not hard. Like, that's easy. I can lie to you right now. Like, I'm the best looking man in the world. Boom, I lied to you. But you know what I have to do now? Now I have to maintain that lie. That's where it gets way more difficult, because that means in casual conversation, you can't allow yourself to
keep going with
slip
it.
up. And it's like, you say to everybody, yeah, I was so sick yesterday. Now you got to maintain that thing. It's not going to be easy. And it's not in the moment. That's easy. It's what comes later.
It's like, how far do you want to take this?
Yeah. Plus, there's that picture of you catching the fly ball at the game.
Yeah, they find out.
There's always
when really,
something.
You could have just gone to work that day or take the day off.
Yeah, one or the other.
You're like, I don't have any days off. Can you take it without pay? You're going to have to decide.
You got to do something. Yeah. It's tough, though. I hear you, for real.
So if you want to leave and just play the Division 2, you're going to just have to go and play the Division 2.
Okay.
So I don't feel like you need to go to this length.
But, Nikki, my kidneys, they hurt.
They hurt.
I know, it seems bad now, but I'm sure one day we'll be able to look back at this and laugh. Who are we kidding? No one will ever laugh at this. This is the Riot's Worst of 2019.
Man, I want you to know that this might be my favorite thing that I saw last night, and it was making the rounds, so maybe you saw it. Nikki, are you familiar with brocheting?
Brocheting? Is it like crocheting for
bros?
For bros?
That's exactly what it's like.
Like you guys get together and do bro things and crochet?
Dude, there was a write-up about this guy named Ben. He's 23 now. When he was in high school, he suffered from, they said, anxiety that was really bad. And so his therapist said to him, like, you know what you need to do? You need to find a hobby that can kind of
keep you busy,
keep you busy, keep you moving. And so he said that he had a friend who was talking about starting a crochet club, and, all the girls were going. So he was like, whatever, I'll go to a crochet club. And here he is 4 or 5 years later.
Still crocheting.
An established crocheter.
Hey, he's actually really good. He's making little stuffed animals and beanies, and that isn't a crop top. That's interesting.
All kinds of stuff. And I love the fact that he refers to it as brocheting.
So does he have a group of friends that come over and crochet with him, or is that just a term he came up with?
I don't know if he has a group of friends that come over and crochet with him, but that's...
I like people's text message. How much would you charge for shorts? How would you want crocheted shorts?
Wow.
Maybe.
So I love the fact, it's got to be frustrating if you're a girl that's been crocheting for years and you can't get any attention, and all of a sudden this guy comes along and you're like, oh.
Suddenly he gets all the attention with it.
All the attention.
It's funny. It's a great idea, though. It's true. It keeps him busy.
Yeah. So there it is. I guess what I'm really trying to say is that there's a whole market out there for you guys to start crocheting.
You have to find your thing.
Your thing.
If you want to be popular with it, be well known, sell some items, so you can order from him. He'll actually make you stuff.
Mm-hmm. You can.
And he doesn't mind being known as the Crochet Guy.
It's fine. I I think it's amazing. I love it. And so, good for him.
Yes, good for him.
Nikki, brocheting. He has created a whole new thing.
A whole genre.
Do you crochet? Do you even crochet?
I don't.
Bro?
I didn't know we were supposed to.
I don't know.
I didn't
how
know
to
there was
crochet.
now something else that I'm supposed to be doing to make me cool enough. I didn't know crocheting was it.
See, the problem is, Nikki, you and I are chasing the internet. This guy's leading the internet.
That's true. There's a difference.
We got to find a way to lead, not chase.
This is the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
I told you that we were going to talk about the best high school play ever and the worst
place
real
to live.
estate.
Yeah, you want to make sure we get to both of them at maybe right now.
Yeah, here I'm going to give it to you. First one, it's called Snake Island. And that's what they call it. It's an island in Brazil where it is literally illegal for you to go out there.
Yeah, I've seen it on documentaries.
Well, apparently 60 Minutes went there.
They're always like at travel shows and like, here's this lovely area, but don't go there.
Do not go in there.
Were they allowed to? Or
60 Minutes was allowed to with some very, very specific
is it really
guidelines.
Covered with snakes?
Do
I have to watch 60 Minutes?
Over 4,000 species of snakes in one location.
All right.
I say,
no
get
way.
me the heck out of here. Right? Okay, so onto this play, right? A high school, North Bergen High School, which I am now realizing I should have looked up where that is. North Bergen High School, they did Alien as their school play.
How did that get passed? Like, don't you have to get approval as to which play
it's in
you
New
do?
Jersey.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, okay, not to be like whatever about it, but I mean, in reality, Alien's kind of rated R probably for how gross it is.
Yeah, and
so,
you're not having that in the play.
Yeah, you take the language and the grossness out of it and the premise, it's not so bad.
I was never in theater, so I don't know. To me, I always assumed the school purchased the play.
Well, that's interesting, and that becomes the question, is how did they do this? Did they buy the rights from 20th Century Fox?
Do they even sell the rights to Alien as a play?
My guess is going to be no, and I would say they probably adapted the screenplay on some level. And again, remember, I'm just speculating. I know very little about it, actually. But I think they could probably get away with that. Where it becomes a licensing thing is when schools do musicals.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you something right now. If you want to see a group of people that will get paid, it's songwriters. They will get paid.
Even if it's your school doing a performance of the song that they have.
That's exactly right. And so that's a whole other thing. That's one of the ways they make money as a songwriter is like if a song gets picked up as a musical thing, like that gets licensed and sent out, all of that kind of stuff. So this Alien contains no musical numbers.
As far as we know. Maybe they adapted it.
Maybe they did.
You don't know if they didn't sing in it.
Maybe they did.
What a weird choice.
It's fascinating.
Feels like someone's dad chose that, too. They're like, I'll do Alien.
Maybe not.
Feels very odd.
You know, Nikki, Alien is about to celebrate its 40th anniversary with a 4K Blu-ray releasing on April 23rd.
Yes.
Which is actually 423. And a lot of people feel like, I don't know if you know this, but 426 is LV 426 Day. So that's Alien Day every year.
Sure. No, we're following right along with you.
No, May the 4th be with you.
There's an Alien Day, too.
Oh, man. Well, anyway, I want to be a part of that school play. Awesome.
Hey, so what do you think of Obadiah?
The truth is, he's not a very nice person.
Okay, well, what about Nikki?
The very best there is.
You're listening to The Riot on Radio U.
Have you ever stopped for a minute to think about what you actually want? Like I've been thinking I want...
This VR golf game.
Stupid golf game, whatever.
No, don't say stupid. It's just a golf game.
I want to minimize.
It's not.
I'm going to minimize.
It's a VR golf game for PlayStation that Obi loves.
Yeah, but think about what you want versus what people tell you you're supposed to want. Like, you know what? You're supposed to want to get married. Maybe that's not for you right now. You're supposed to want to buy a house. Maybe that's not for you right now. You're supposed to want to travel the world. What if you don't want to? What if you want to buy a house? Or like, what if you're supposed to go to college and you don't want to go? What if everybody's telling you that you can't go to college and you're like, but I want to? What do you actually want? Here's something I am convinced of. I am convinced you're special. Now, let's be clear. Most people think that if I say special, that means better. I have to be better than everyone else. No, it's art, man. Like, you don't compare Cubist art to like neo whatever. Like, art is different and unique. And you are unique. Yes, unique like everyone else. But this I know, that God made you. Jesus loves you. And you know what? It seems like when it comes to marketing, advertising, the world, whatever, everybody is really trying to take you and shove you into a box. Like, we want to get you in a mortgage. We want to get you with a degree. We want to get you with the right kind of car and the right kind of... Dude, it's no wonder you're dying a little bit on the inside. You're being shoved into being something that you're not, which is why you need to get back to the original blueprints. Find yourself a little bit, which sounds really stupid. But here's what you want to do. Get to know God. Find out what he's about, because here's the thing. He made you. He knows how unique you are. That stuff that people are like, you need to knock that off. He's like, man, I put that in there. Or the other way around. Maybe you're doing something and he's like, hey, knock it off. I never put that in there. It's killing you. Stop it. You should spend some time getting to know God, because I believe it. I know he loves you, and I know that you are unique. And yeah, everybody got to go to work. You got to go to get some school, whatever. I get that. I'm not saying that you should drop out of life and move to the middle of the desert. Nobody said that.
That's not what Obi said, and that's not what you're supposed to take away from that.
Nobody said that. But what I am saying is this. You spend some time getting to know God, who he is, and what he has to say about you, and a lot of other things. And I think you'll be amazed at how, you know what, it's okay that you don't want to fit into somebody else's mold. See who you were really supposed to be. If you don't have a relationship with God, it's not hard. You can start there. Just say, Jesus, I want that. Come into my life. Fill me with your spirit. Show me a different way to do things. What did you make me for? And you know what? You start asking questions like that, you're going to start getting answers.
The only reason we're airing this is because most of our staff is on holiday break and we need to fill time somehow. This is the Riot's worst of 2019.
Sometimes you just kick over a rock and you're like, there's nothing under there. And then you find out
everybody scatters.
You find out that it's actually like a manhole cover and it goes deep, deep into a cave.
Just because some of you guys are practically begging us to read this cat series, and we're not going to.
The number of text messages that have come in about warrior cats.
Which is a series of books, but no one has told me still the final number. Like, how many are there?
I don't think you want to know. I'll tell you this.
I do want to know.
They've got books. They've got comic books.
Is there merchandise? I've never even heard of the thing.
Well, they say, okay, everybody's texting in. This is what I keep getting. They're really written for teenage girls, but they're really good.
Perfect for me. So,
and it's about cats. Do you understand?
Feral cats.
Oh, my gosh. Zach says that his sisters love the warrior cats. Wow.
We've uncovered something. We have. We've uncovered something. I've never even in my whole life ever heard one thing about it.
Warrior cats.
It's something.
Okay, here we have. Wait, I got to find the one. This was the, nope, not him. Somebody texted and they were like, really way too into it. All right, it's you, Josh. He says.
Josh, you get to win.
Here's what he says. Give the first book a shot. I was very skeptical at first, but they're very well written with a good story. And from a writer's perspective, the character development is great and the stories are relatable. Broken families, torn friendships, and death.
But that's all cats.
One of my favorites. But is it? I mean, maybe
you forget when you're reading it. You get lost in the story. You forget it's cats.
Okay, all right. What if the cats, what if they're people that turn into cats?
Maybe. Spoilers. I mean, if so. I mean, it's been around for how long, but I can't tell. Thank you, Kelly. Kelly, whole family into it.
Yeah, she says everybody's into it and we're not even homeschooled. So
maybe it's something like that.
I don't know.
Is
that a thing? Look, let me read to you. I have right here. I have opened up the do you know that it's written by Aaron Hunter, but Aaron Hunter is like a huge group of people that write these. Oh my gosh.
They just use the name.
Okay, we don't know who this is, but it says Josh is my brother and he's obsessed with the series. Oh my gosh.
Guys, we can't deal with all this drama. Don't be bringing this to us with the show.
Nikki, let's see here. 6, 12, 18,
Are they
24,
short books then?
30, 36, 37, 40. Oh, no, now I'm into the manga.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, warrior
that
cats.
Seems like that would really take off in Japan.
You want to, do we want to read it? Do we, as a thing? It doesn't look long. They're like 300 pages.
Nikki, first off,
Don't go down the cat well.
For Nikki, let me tell you something about her. She would have Warrior Cats, the whole series, read by tomorrow.
I'm a speed reader.
She is a speed reader like you wouldn't even believe it.
So I could have this during lunch if you want me to take one for the team.
You know what, Nikki? I'm going to let you do that. I'm going to let you.
But what is the actual first book? I want to make sure I'm actually doing the first one, not the this is the second series of the Broken Code. I see.
Well, Zach says that he thinks his sisters probably still have them if we want to borrow them.
All right, Zach, will you bring in the first book of the Warrior Cats? I have a cat. I'll read it with my cat.
That's okay. See, that's what I think. Okay, I love this.
What if I love these?
Everybody else is all Game of Thrones today, and Nikki's going to be like, guys, you don't listen.
You don't understand.
You don't know.
I can't watch Game of Thrones.
I was real skeptical about this whole thing, all right? I was real skeptical because cats, right? But once I finally gave it a chance.
Then I loved it.
I love cats, and I love warriors.
So why would not?
A cat that is a warrior, I get it.
Wait, my last question is this. When did the Warrior Cats book thing start?
2003 or 2004.
Okay, so back then.
Yeah, back in the day.
All right, well, I'm going to wait, Zach, bring him in, because I don't want to pay anything for that. I would like to borrow.
Oh, my gosh. Damien says, Warrior Cats, Nikki, don't knock the animal characters. Characters are characters.
Oh, I should try it.
You know what? Damien sounds like your kind of people, Nikki.
Hey, out of both of us,
animals are people, too.
Listen, out of both of us, I think I'd be the first one to forget it's about a cat and just fall in love with the character.
Stacy says this is the perfect opportunity to launch Obadiah Reads, which is similar to Obadiah Plays.
Let's do a book club.
Okay, dude. Middle school me was so into them.
We're so ready. All right, we'll work on that.
Nikki, you can get super editions, 700 pages.
Great. Okay, I think we're done talking about Warrior Cat. I'm going to love them.
You're going to love them.
Oh, heaven help me. I'll love them.
You're going to be so sucked into this.
I'm reading them all night. If I'm not sleeping, I'll just be reading
I can't
the book.
sleep. It's Warrior Cats. I think my cat's one of the cats.
He just stares at me while I read them.
This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Yeah, this morning I'm thinking about something that, I don't know, it's pretty important, I think. And I think it's something that we all have, but none of us are willing to talk about it because we haven't really thought about it. You know, it's something inside yourself that...
With all this lead up, I don't think you're being serious.
No. Well, I mean, you decide for yourself, Nikki, how serious I'm being about it, okay? But I think we all have this, but I don't think anybody's talking or thinking about it this morning. And I've coined the phrase today. All right, this is mine.
What is it?
It's candy threshold.
Candy threshold?
The candy threshold.
Are you into the Nestle Crunch bars? Is that what you've been doing?
No, Nikki, because they're below my candy threshold.
Where did these bags of we got?
I don't know.
We just got bags of candy on the break room table,
which is fine.
It's fine. It normally happens, say after Halloween or after Valentine's Day. People will bring in leftover candy. But
there's St. Patrick's Day Nestle Crunch bars a month later.
After Easter, we'll probably get some Easter egg sort of things.
Probably.
That's just where
the cast-offs.
It's where our leftovers go to die.
They do.
On the break room table. But when I saw the bags of Nestle Crunch bars yesterday, I was like, what? How random is this?
It was very random, but at the same time, not unwelcome.
Sure.
But I'm not a Nestle Crunch guy. It's just whatever.
Are you eating them this morning?
No, Nikki, because... they're below my candy threshold.
No, you still have to say yes, you've been eating them.
But I haven't been.
Did you have one in your mouth?
No.
You haven't eaten one? I thought I just saw you eat one.
See, Nikki, that's because I found something that was above my candy threshold.
So you did not just eat one?
You know what? You're not getting it.
Am I not getting it?
You're not getting it.
I know you might be saying it doesn't count.
Snickers
you ate a Snickers.
It's a little Snickers bite size. I mean, the bite size now is smaller than a penny.
Sure.
Right? It's one of those.
So you had that. That's what you were eating.
Because it's above my candy threshold. It's that thing.
You can't say no to it.
It's that moment when I see it there and I'm like, you know what? I can say no to a Nestle Crunch bar. It's below the line.
I don't think you're right, though, because eventually your line moves up and down. When all the Snickers and the things that are above your candy threshold that you can't say no to, when those are all gone, suddenly the line goes down. You're like, well, you appreciate the other candy that you haven't been eating.
Right, Nikki. The threshold moves.
Because you just want candy.
Moves. And I'll just tell you this right now, that the threshold moved again because after I ate the Snickers bar, I was like, man, that's good. And I felt the threshold lower to where when you started talking about the Nestle Crunch bars, I suddenly was like, maybe I want some of those too.
Why do you eat it when you have the Snickers too? Like you make a little candy sandwich.
You got to space it out.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
those
you
are all
do.
little bite size. You don't need to space out bite size.
Well, I feel like a little bit, okay? So because
I feel like people should stop bringing in candy for us. That's what I feel like.
Could you please stop that?
You don't agree with that?
No.
Why are there just bags of candy?
All right, Nikki, here's the thing. Like, depending on what's going on in your personal life, your threshold's all over the place.
I know. I'm trying not to eat candy.
If Nikki's trying not to eat candy, and the other thing, too, is like all of a sudden it dries up. Your mom quits buying us stuff. There's nothing around, whatever. But then when you decide, like, open the floodgates and let the candy in,
then more candy
then there's
comes
like
in.
candy just starts appearing. But I'm just telling you that every single one of us today have a candy threshold, and it may take a trial by fire for you to even know where the threshold is. Like, I said no to Snickers, I said no to Nestle Crunch, I said no to a Milky Way, and then I was like, is that a Snickers?
Oh, no. There's the threshold.
There was. The threshold was set. It was right. It was Snickers, and we have now gone over the line.
Thank you, David, for texting. Everyone needs a Nikki in their life to tell us to eat more candy, which, am I doing that, or am I saying for Obi to not have more candy?
No. You were very specifically telling me to eat more candy.
That's what you heard.
No, it's what you said. It's not what I heard.
That's what you think you heard,
said
then you go
you
ahead
should
and eat
have
more candy.
a candy sandwich.
Don't yell at me. You're yelling at me.
But, okay, you said you should have a
I don't
candy
think you're
sandwich.
listening to me.
Oh, those bite size? You're supposed to have a bunch of those at once because they're not enough. I mean, let's wind back the recording. Just like,
What am I tempting you with it? Come on. I just said that it'd be really nice if you had a candy sandwich, like if you put both of them together. That's not me telling you to go eat more candy.
This is the sound of you trying to back up the truck. But I'll tell you,
The candy truck.
you said those things.
Well, if you and David think that, then I don't know what you're listening to.
You know what? It's not my fault.
All right, well, perhaps text us at 877-2-RADIO-U and let us know what is your candy of choice where that's your line. Like for him,
Where is your candy threshold?
it was Snickers. He can't say no to it, but Nestle Crunch he can say no to, so he doesn't go under that.
Well, let's be clear, Nikki. We all have a candy threshold where, again, I feel like that's the line at which we feel like it's worth it. I could have still said no to that Snickers, but it was worth saying yes to. So what's your candy threshold today? Have you thought about it?
So that's part one for the texting. Part two is if you could combine any two candies for a candy sandwich, what would you do?
Okay.
Not telling you I'm saying you go eat the candy, but what would you combine for the ultimate taste?
I think you did.
The Riot, not everyone's fan.
I wonder whose idea this was.
Radio U.
Yesterday, we talked about a concept that I think is important. And I feel like a lot of people were just like, roll your eyes, whatever. But what did we talk about?
Well, we talked about a lot. You're going to have
We
to narrow
talked
it
about
down.
the candy threshold.
Yeah, so we did.
CT. All right. When I say candy threshold, that's a capital C, capital T, because that is a proper noun, and it is that point
And you
at
will
which,
respect it.
That's right. It's the candy threshold is your line. It's that time when you look at it and go, I want that candy. So if it's above the candy threshold line, then you'll eat the candy. If it's below it, you'll say, no, I'm making good choices for myself and my body.
Now, I feel like it depends on the candy, and that will change your threshold, meaning and the days. So, like, the first day you go in, you like Snickers, you'll eat the Snickers, but the Nestle Crunch, you said, no, that was below the threshold.
Yeah.
But your body over time wears down,
It
and the
does.
threshold goes down. So today you went in, you ate something that yesterday you wouldn't eat.
Well, I had a low candy threshold today, which is very similar to a text message that we got saying, on some days the candy threshold is high, and on others
There's not
Christmas candy from 2016.
You'll eat anything.
Yeah, so apparently I'm somewhere in the middle of those two today. Now, that's the candy threshold. All right, but there's another CT out there, Nikki. I didn't know about it until this morning, but I feel like this threshold idea is going to take on, and it's going to be the psychological theory that's going to put us in the books, on the map, and on the lecture circuit.
So what is it?
It's the cat threshold.
What do you mean the cat threshold? How many cats, or if you want a cat or no?
No, it's the cat number before you've gone completely insane.
Oh, how many can you actually manage? Yeah.
How many cats can you have before you have gone over
the number
cat
you should
threshold?
have? How many? What was the most I ever had at one time? Because I do
3,
love cats.
I believe.
No, well, I would have one. Yeah, one. No, I had 4 at one time. At the same time, meaning.
Did you have a secret cat?
No.
I think you did.
I had Panda, Kit Kat, Butterfinger, and Marshmallow. And yeah, that's their names. And yeah, that's Candy. So, what about it?
Huh. Seems
Candy
like this
threshold.
candy cat threshold
That
thing
works,
may
right?
be connected.
So now I only have Panda. He's all that's left.
So do you have more candy now that you don't have as many
No, just
candy
Panda.
cats?
And Panda would have been called Candy, but when we adopted him, he came with a name Panda, and it just worked.
Okay. All right. Okay. There's a woman in Michigan. She's got 88 cats.
That's not even a threshold. That's like illegal.
Well, what I'm
I think
saying
legally
is that,
you're not allowed to have that.
Nikki, that at one point you had 4 cats. This woman has 88. And somewhere between 4 and 88,
Is where we crossed the line.
there's a threshold.
Ooh.
And I can't put a number to it. Like, I can't assign it because to me, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way,
There's no difference between 4 and 88.
you're above the threshold.
No way.
4 cats.
I have 1 now. That was just a time. Mm-hmm. And we don't have that anymore.
It's fine. It's fine. No big deal.
I don't think you're allowed to have 88. I think there's like laws for like your area where you're living at.
Well, this woman, yes. She's definitely breaking some laws.
You're not able to manage that many cats. Cats can be hard. There can be a lot to it.
This all kind of fell apart on her because she got bit by one of the cats and she had an infected cat bite.
Ooh.
And then when
at 88 cats, you're not like taking them to the vet, and they're not like, they're not licensed.
They said that many of the cats were feral and pregnant.
Yeah, you're not allowed to do that.
Which means she was about to get some new cats.
Oh, even worse.
So.
Oh, now, Jared, good call. He texted us and said when we talked about the C threshold, he thought we were going to be talking about the cake threshold.
Oh, that doesn't exist.
He had some random cupcakes that came into the play yesterday, and he thought maybe.
Well,
but this is cats, not cupcakes.
To be clear, the cake threshold doesn't exist. It's all cake.
It does too.
No.
The icing level.
No.
If it's a cake with that whipped cream icing,
I'll still eat it.
No way. That's
It's
at the
still cake.
bottom.
No. See, you're talking about a hierarchy. I'm talking about a threshold. Completely different thing.
I don't know. I
Is
don't
there
want
a
it on my
hierarchy in the
threshold.
cake world? Absolutely. We can spend the rest of the show discussing it. But
in fact, let's do that.
Let's do that. But the cake threshold is there cake? Yes, I'm eating it.
That's just a blanket statement for it.
That's just how that works.
Okay. So the cat threshold is a thing as well. And if you run across any family or friend members who have 88 cats, know that they are way above and beyond what they should be doing.
They've crossed it.
The Riot Podcast. RadioU.
Nikki, we have a problem here.
We do. It is just keep growing and growing. I thought it would have taken care of itself by now.
I think someone's trying to poison us.
So on Monday...
Or if not poison our bodies, poison our hearts.
Hearts are mine. Well, with coffee, it's all connected with all of you guys. But on Monday, we came back from the weekend and from the spring fundraiser.
We did.
And you made a pot of your normal coffee that you have here.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
And did you grind the beans or those were already ground?
It's the same coffee I made 14 times a day during the spring fundraiser.
So you're familiar with it.
I left on a Friday, came back on a Monday.
But you said it had an awful taste with it, and so we thought it must...
And you commented about the smell.
I commented on the smell first because it was terrible.
Yeah,
you
it
could
had
tell
an
something was
odd
wrong.
smell.
But it seemed like someone had washed or cleaned out the coffee pot, and that was why it ruined it. So you ran a couple of cycles, and then you had coffee yesterday.
And I thought yesterday's coffee seemed fine. Mm-hmm. Today, we are right back at it. I mean, it really tastes like someone has poured something
in the coffee,
into the coffee machine, into the coffee. I actually went through, brewed a pot. Terrible. And I was like, we thought, oh, maybe it's the cup. Maybe somebody washed
your cup
this
that
cup.
you were drinking.
So we switched cups. Still bad.
Then you switched coffee?
And yes, then I went in, I ground fresh beans brewed coffee still smells and tastes terrible.
So what is it? And it's not just you. So because at first I thought maybe you're getting a cold or something, and you're tasting like your snot, and it's not it.
Nikki knows what it should smell like,
and it doesn't.
And the smell is bad. What is going on?
Only because I've seen this on the news a lot and just viral videos. Like, who's peeing in the coffee pot?
Exactly.
Like, what's going on?
Exactly.
Who's tampering it?
Something's wrong. Like, something weird has happened to the coffee. First,
or on the coffee beans, or the coffee grinder, or the coffee pot still, or the filters or something, or the water. It could be any of those.
Well, I got water from the fridge this morning, which goes through a filter.
So you're drinking it on its own.
It's fine.
So it's not water. I feel like you have to take out everything it could.
Okay, then let's think about it. The only thing we've gotten down to here that there's anything in common with is the filters.
Yeah.
And the coffee pot itself.
Sure.
Well, and I mean the water, but let's say we've eliminated the water because it's the same coffee that I used for the fundraiser and it was fine. Okay, but I brewed that. It's all messed up. I ground fresh coffee this morning.
Of a different type.
Different kind, different bag, different everything.
So it can't be the coffee.
So it could be the grinder, which seems unlikely. But then there's the coffee pot itself.
So now, Taylor just texted, run a vinegar cycle on the coffee pot. Might just need a good cleaning. We did that. Well, like we cleaned it out, and we think because someone else had cleaned it out with something else, that's where the taste is coming from.
Something is bad.
But you said it was fine yesterday.
Yes, which... someone's doing something.
I know. It's like, what's happening? Either you didn't notice yesterday.
I don't see how I couldn't have. It's such a strong... And the thing is, like, I don't put creamer or sugar in my coffee. Mm-hmm. So I'm getting the raw coffee taste. And something's
is in there.
Wrong.
And you can smell it today. Something's in there.
Something's wrong.
We need a hidden camera. We need a police detective.
Don't we have security cameras in here?
We do, but they're not in the break room. Why didn't we put one in the break room?
What's going to happen.
If something's going to happen to us, it's probably going to happen to us in the break room. We need security.
I'll just tell you right now, Nikki and I have names for all the cameras in the building. And whenever we catch whoever is doing something bad to the coffee, I'm naming that camera after you that we had to put into the break room because someone was peeing in the coffee.
We don't want that. No one wants that. And poor Obi, that's all he has in the morning. He has the show in us, but to get going through the morning,
my thing.
That's all he needs.
So I haven't had coffee today, which sucks. And I'll tell you what. As soon as this show is over, I'm getting in my car and I'm driving down to Starbucks.
Okay, so last comment on this. If the Starbucks coffee you get happens to taste weird, then we are going to go back to it's you. And I don't know why I'd be smelling it.
It is not me.
But something's wrong.
I'll just tell you right now. There's a lot of things in this world that are my problem.
This is not yours.
It's directly me. I did it. It's my personal problem.
What's the board game? Who did it and how? Clue or whatever?
Clue.
Yeah, who ruined the coffee in the break room?
I want to know.
With a candlestick.
The Riot. Just because it's bad doesn't mean it's not good. Wait, isn't that exactly what it means? It's The Riot on RadioU.
First, I'd like to thank Marie. She's in Denver. Thank you for texting us. Says we should have a RadioU clue game. Who ruined Obadiah's coffee?
All you need is 6 people, 6 items, and 9 rooms.
And we could do that.
Mike says, hope you guys get it figured out. My morning cups of coffee are very important, so I understand.
Well, here's a new layer. So if you were just joining us, Obi's coffee, he feels like has been...
And now we've had to upgrade it to feels like.
Because of what's coming in a moment. On Monday, though, can we all agree, Chris, you can agree on Monday. Something was up with Mondays, right?
I never...
You never had any?
No, the coffee was disintegrated by the time I got here.
It was nasty.
So.
It burned
poured
itself.
it out.
No, it ate itself. It was so bad.
The coffee ate itself. That's right.
So Obi feels like since Monday, the coffee's been bad except for yesterday.
Yesterday, I drank the coffee. I made coffee yesterday.
Yeah, it was fine yesterday.
It was fine, whatever. Mm-hmm. This morning... No.
And Chris, it did smell bad.
It smelled awful.
And
that was the previous pot?
That's correct.
The existing pot, I believe, tastes fine.
No.
I mean, it's the rich stuff, but it's
Death Wish coffee, so it's intense.
It tastes and smells
Chris,
fine.
have you ever heard of teamwork and you're just supposed to work with Obi on this?
Look, I'm a realist.
No, I'll tell you what he is.
I'll be honest.
I'll tell you what he is.
What?
He's a coffee peer.
Are you the one?
Chris is the one. He's come in here to be like,
Yeah,
that's what I was doing Monday night.
He's gaslighting me right now. He's gaslighting me. He's trying to convince me that it's my problem.
It's in your head.
And I'm the one. It's all in your head. Why are you doing this? Why are you being this way?
When it really does taste and smell bad.
I'm in an abusive coffee relationship with Chris right now.
And he's just trying to make you feel like you're the one in the wrong. So you think it's fine, though?
I think this pot is fun. Have you tried this existing one?
Yes.
It's still there.
Still there.
Still didn't taste right.
But you could be tasting it from earlier, do you think?
Do you think it's just kind of like that when you have food poison at some place and you just
And you could
forget?
never go to Skyline again because your friend was in the hospital with...
Well, no, we got actually many restaurants we could choose to put in there. We've all had personal and friends where we've had sicknesses and things of like. So, all right. Well, Chris says the coffee at the current state is okay.
Yeah.
OB.
Listen.
Are you using those new cups or are you using...
His own
I did
cup.
both.
Okay.
I'll tell you what's going to happen right now.
Could be those micro cups we have.
Yeah, what's with
that's another story, guys. Come on. We only have to give the listeners
that's
one
a piece of
problem
onion
at a
you just
time.
want to keep peeling.
Everything in the building keeps shrinking. We used to buy 16-ounce water bottles. Now it's an 8-ounce water bottle. We used to have 16-ounce cups. Now we got 3-ounce cups.
We just can't.
I mean, if I go in there and find a training toilet in the bathroom, I'll know that eventually it's like, well, you know what?
Well, we did not meet our goal for the spring fun race.
A little bit short.
We're a little short, so things have to change. You gotta, go with how it is.
We sold the toilet. It's a squatty potty now, so you're fine.
Hey.
They do it in Asia. You can learn.
No, you're supposed to hold it until you get home. You're not supposed to go to the bathroom at all.
You get one ply.
That's all you get.
Yeah.
Well, that's an interesting update. Thank you, Chris, for coming in.
Yeah, thank you, Chris, for making me doubt myself.
Not doubt, just
It's
another
okay.
layer to this. Another layer.
You know what? At this point, it doesn't matter.
You
I'm
don't
going to have to
care
start
anymore.
again tomorrow, but I'm going to Starbucks when the show is over. Unashamedly.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.